In this lesson, we're going to explore the concept of influence campaigns, the role of misinformation and disinformation within them, and strategies to combat these issues. In the world of always-on, influence campaigns have become a powerful tool for shaping public opinion and behavior. These influence campaigns can also be a breeding ground for misinformation and disinformation, which can pose significant challenges to individuals, our societies, and our democracies. Influence campaigns are coordinated efforts to affect public perception or behavior towards a particular cause, individual, or group. These campaigns can be benign, such as public health campaigns encouraging widespread vaccination, or malicious, such as efforts to spread false information to manipulate public opinion during a democratic election. In terms of cybersecurity, our real focus here is going to be on the malicious influence campaigns that are usually performed by high-level adversaries like nation-state actors or hacktivist groups. With the advent of social media, the reach and impact of influence campaigns have been amplified to allow messages to spread rapidly and widely with little oversight or fact-checking from trusted platforms. This can lead to the rise of misinformation and disinformation. Although both of these involve the spread of false information, there's a distinction between misinformation and disinformation based on the underlying intent of the influence campaign. Now, misinformation refers to false or inaccurate information shared without harmful intent. Misinformation often arises from honest mistakes or misunderstandings that can spread rapidly in an era where information is shared with a click of a button. A real-world example occurred during the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic when many individuals mistakenly believed and shared that gargling warm salt water or drinking a small amount of chlorine could prevent or kill the spread of the virus. This claim spread quickly across various social media and messaging platforms and led many people to believe and adopt these methods, even though they were not scientifically proven to be effective against COVID-19. Disinformation, on the other hand, involves the deliberate creation and sharing of false information with the intent to deceive or mislead. Disinformation is often used in influence campaigns to manipulate public opinion, spread discord, or undermine trust in institutions. Another example, adversary countries may try to spread rumors about specific election candidates in order to change public opinion and try to manipulate election results. For example, the Russian government is suspected to be behind a massive disinformation campaign during the 2016 U.S. presidential election between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. This malicious influence campaign, according to the U.S. intelligence agencies, involves Russian state-sponsored operatives using social media platforms to spread disinformation among American voters so that the Russian government's preferred presidential candidate could win the election. To perform their disinformation campaign, the nation-state operatives created fake accounts and pages on platforms like Facebook and Twitter, and then they used those accounts to post politically divisive content and false information to manipulate the public opinion of voters in regards to the candidates. After the election, a review of this disinformation campaign highlighted the potential of disinformation to influence the American democratic electoral process and underscored the need for greater regulation and oversight of online content, sponsored posts, and online advertisements during the country's elections and other large-scale events that rely on an informed public to make a collective decision for the country. Another infamous influence campaign is the Bitcoin scam of 2020 that occurred on the social media platform Twitter. In July 2020, Twitter experienced a significant security breach that resulted in one of the most notorious influence campaigns involving cryptocurrency. High-profile accounts, including those of Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and several cryptocurrency companies were hacked. The attackers then used these compromised accounts to post tweets that claimed that any Bitcoin sent to a specific address would be doubled and returned as part of a charitable gesture on behalf of these high-profile personalities. But this was, in fact, a scam. By relying on the influence that these high-profile individuals have over the public, victims believed the scam was credible, and this allowed various Twitter users to be persuaded to send Bitcoin to the specified address, and these users, of course, never received their Bitcoin or the promised doubled Bitcoin gains back to their accounts. This incident highlights the fact that influence campaigns do not always have to be based on political motivations, but they can also be used as part of an attacker's desire to receive financial gain. So remember, misinformation and disinformation can have serious consequences because they can undermine public trust in institutions, fuel social divisions, and even influence the outcomes of elections. Misinformation refers to false or inaccurate information shared without harmful intent. Disinformation, on the other hand, involves the deliberate creation and sharing of false information with the intent to deceive or mislead. By promoting media literacy, prioritizing fact-checking, ensuring transparency and accountability, and considering appropriate regulation, societies can mitigate the threat of misinformation and disinformation and create a more informed public consciousness across their country.